Well. The Cowboys did exactly what Stephen Jones said. He said they were going out and looking in free agency to see what they could get as far as defensive ends go. DeMarcus Lawrence has been put on injured reserve, so we knew that was coming. So there had to be somebody to take his roster spot. And it looks like the Cowboys have chosen KJ Henry. There's a lot of talk about KJ Henry. We'll look at the good, we'll look at the bad, we'll look at the otherwise. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G. I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's talk facts. Well, the Cowboys went out and got them a pass rusher. I wish we would have got Tyus Bowser. I didn't get a chance to look at his box score last night, but it didn't seem to do any good against the Detroit Lions, who are looking red hot in the NFC. I was hoping that maybe the Cowboys would go out and at least try to see if they could get something done as far as Hassan Reddick goes. And I'm still not going to rule that out until the trade deadline, or at least until game 6 for the Jets, because from what Mike Fisher said, by game 6, if he doesn't make a decision, it sounds like that the season is pretty much over for him. And so he'll have to come back. Next season or something to that effect, whatever the case may be. The Jets are going to retain his rights for 2025. So there's no way Hassan Reddick can get from under the Jets just by holding out. I hope that I actually hope it's the Cowboys that reaches out to the Jets, and people keep talking about the money. I mean, you're only talking about $14 million, which would be down to about $9 million on the prorated rate, because that's about how many games he would have. About 11 games. He got a $14 million contract. I don't care what anyone says. The Cowboys should spend that money, and I would even extend him for a couple of years, and he would be a part of me going all in and making a run for the Super Bowl. But who we did get is KJ Henry. Now, I want to look at a few things on KJ Henry, because people may not realize, I mean, this guy coming out of high school was highly regarded. Let's look at his draft profile, and I'll show you a couple of things about him. So when we look at his draft profile, according to NFLDraftBuzz.com, I mean, I've been kind of reading this stuff about him for a while, and when you look at him coming out of high school, man, he was a 5-star recruit. He was really a 5-star recruit. And let's look at what it says about him. It says he is a versatile defensive lineman, pretty much. He's a 4.5 40-time guy. He's young, 26, 26 years old. I think that would put him right now 25.8. Okay, about to be 26. He's a young guy. You look at his height, he's 6'4", he's 251 pounds. So, he can move. His scores don't actually just blow you out of the water. But nevertheless, I mean, this guy was highly touted coming out of high school, and they really thought he had a lot of potential coming into the pros. If I'm not mistaken, let's see here. 2nd round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you kind of look at his overall draft grade, 79% offensive rating based on offenses he's faced, tackling 77%, pass rush 83%, run defense 77%. So his draft projection was 4th. I think I said he was a 2nd. He actually didn't get drafted in the 2nd, nor did he get drafted in the 4th. I was thinking about someone else. He got drafted in the 5th, as a matter of fact. His projection was a 4th, but he got drafted in the 5th round. He got drafted in the 5th round. And so when you look at him, he was drafted by the Washington Commanders. When you look at it, he was drafted by the Washington Commanders. And as you can see, 5-star recruit coming out of high school. So KJ Henry, he winds up getting on the Washington Commanders team. He wasn't, he didn't just absolutely tear it up. It's showing here, if you look at his 2023, it shows here, looks like He's a 1.5 sack guy. Look at this career, 2023, 1.5 sacks. So, I think there is some potential here when you start talking about KJ Henry. I got some film on him from, I think his name is MattyDubs, and I think and then I got one, of course, from Law Nation. The Law Nation did some breakdown on him. So I want to look at both sides of what they both talked about, because they both, I think, gave the positive and the negatives of KJ Henry. And before that, let's look at the Bleacher Report. I think they kind of said some things about him, and then we'll look at that film. And I think they're going to basically back up really what both of them are saying in a sense. So the Bleacher Report says, coming out of college, they gives out some of his measurements, but it says here his positives: solid get off, quick to react to the snap, and decent acceleration off the line of scrimmage. As a run defender, shoots his hands off the ball and has solid strength to get extension and help get a leverage advantage against offensive tackles. Physical at the point of attack too. Good block recognition to put himself in a position to stay in his gap. Arm length and extension help him escape blocks. Has some quickness and agility to gamble and win by ducking inside blocks against outside zone runs. This also helps him with inside stick moves as a pass rusher. Showed flashes of being able to change speeds and win a hesitation move as a pass rusher. Solid inline games, physical as the pick player, and takes a good angle to lure tackle inside. He has the agility and change of direction skills as a looper to take an efficient path to the quarterback. Gets his hands up when he doesn't hit home while rushing the passer, and has a good hand-eye coordination to bat passes at the line of scrimmage. Negatives: against the run, takes on blocks with subpar knee bend and stops his feet on contact, leading to issues holding ground against offensive linemen who have good leverage and double teams, combo blocks from tight ends. Doesn't get underneath pullers as the spill players in run fits, relies on being physical and will leave open rushing lanes inside. Says he has active but inaccurate hands as a pass rusher, struggles to defeat the man, which limits his pass rushing arsenal. Lacks strength and power to win as a bull rusher or turn speed to power. Doesn't have a good go-to pass rushing move that he'll be able to win within the NFL. Not very bendy to turn a tight corner at the top of the rush. Ankles are a little stiff. Needs to rush with a plan and improve his pass rushing. So let's look at the film on him, because I think that Law Nation and MattyDubs are both talking on both sides of this. MattyDubs from the positive side, Law Nation more from the negative side, and more of a reality of who KJ Henry is. So let's watch these clips, and then I'll give my final analysis. So without further ado, let's roll.
Let's look into the film. In this video, we're looking at KJ Henry. The Cowboys just signed KJ Henry from the practice squad of the Bengals, but we're going to look at some of his tape on what he was able to do in the National Football League. He's 6'4", right at 250 pounds, and he's an edge rusher. He's freakishly athletic. The cons on his resume, according to most scouts, been his hands and his pad level. You got to keep his pad levels low. And we're going to look at some of the film that he is able to put out here. Now, he had 1.5 sacks in his career, and it's not glory numbers. I think the Cowboys are just looking for a person that can come into this particular system that's already familiar with Jeff Scanina. He's pretty much talked glowingly of KJ, and I think that Henry is just one of those things of the bottom of the barrel scraping to see whether or not someone can come in with semblance. Now, he got some athleticism to his game. I think that the Cowboys, looking at this since they moved DeMarcus Lawrence to IR, right, and they also got Michael Parsons out for a long stint of time, and we don't know for sure how long it will be. It's week to week from what we hear from reports. But when you look at KJ, he's a 4.6 speed guy, 40 guy, and we're going to see whether or not he can help out on this team or for this team. He's primarily, to me, a better run stopper than he is a edge rusher. He tried to disengage here, just long conversation, fool around and allow the opposition to get their hands too much inside. He's going to have to work on those type of things and separation. See, just got to continue to move feet and get there. To me, his game tape, his speed is not really there. Fighting and playing through the echoes of the whistle, I don't see a lot of that. However, he is pretty much solid with his approach on the edge and playing contain.
And so you pretty much see, just in a little bit of film that I showed, Law Nation is basically solidifying what the scouts were saying about him, especially on the negative side. And I'm going to put the video in the description so you can go watch Law Nation's entire analysis if you haven't watched it. But I think Law Nation is really trying to help us to kind of quell our expectations. You know, understand he's not coming in here. He's not going to be a world beater when he comes in here. He's not going to be someone that's just going to come in and start dominating, you know, if that's what anyone is thinking. But I also want us to understand that at this point, I mean, I think Law might have mentioned some things where, and even what you're reading some of the scouting reports, it seems that he's better suited to kind of stop the run. And that's kind of what the Cowboys are having problems with. I mean, I don't even know if we need to worry about the pass rushing aspect, because the Pittsburgh Steelers are not going to pass the ball unless the Cowboys make them do it. I mean, at this point, we've only seen a game and a half of the Cowboys kind of stopping the run. So until they do it consistently, every team is going to have that memory of the Green Bay game. This year, they got the memory of the Saints and the Baltimore Ravens game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are basically going to come out and say, unless you're going to have to show us you can stop the run, because if you don't, we're going to run the ball on you. So maybe KJ Henry can help in that regard, but I'm going to talk about that more in my final analysis. MattyDubs is going to give us a different perspective, and he's going to talk more about the upside of KJ Henry. And I'm subscribed to Law Nation Sports. I came across MattyDubs today, and I definitely subscribe to MattyDubs. If you are not subscribed to him and Law Nation, you need to. And if you have not subscribed to MattyDubs, he's not just a cowboy. He doesn't just break down the Dallas Cowboys. MattyDubs does a great breakdown of different teams' game film. I mean, I love what he does and how he's doing it. He gives us a very good breakdown with film and illustrations and everything. So let's look at what MattyDubs has to tell us about what he thinks about KJ Henry. Without further ado.
The Dallas Cowboys are extremely weak for the edge rusher spot, the defensive end spot, and today they just made a move, not only acquiring someone off the Bengals practice squad, but signing him to a 2-year deal. This is a guy who has flash potential in KJ Henry. We're going to break down a ton of his film, and I'm going to show you exactly why the Dallas Cowboys actually are making a very good decision here. So on this play specifically, you're going to see him go to that tackle, reach the point of attack, but then bounce to the inside here. Now, this dude is an extremely high motor and is very talented in terms of being able to read where the quarterback wants to go in the pocket, right? So he's going to reach the point of attack and then bounce back to the inside. Now, the Cowboys run this type of technique a ton with Micah Parsons. Let's watch how this play breaks down. So again, we're going to get Tommy DeVito in the pocket. This was from last season, by the way. He is now in Cincinnati, but now headed to the Cowboys. So boom, he's gonna reach that point of attack. That way it's extremely hard for that guard and tackle to really switch here, right? That guard is fully invested in going to that guy, and then boom, we got interior pressure. Quarterback steps up in the pocket, and look at KJ Henry, man. He's going to read this absolutely perfectly. Boom, we're going to get pressure up the middle, get in there, and finish the sack, right? This is beautiful. These are the plays that make KJ Henry kind of stand out. Again, I love the motor. I love the work ethic. This is a guy I thought should be on a roster, due to his play style. This is a dude that deserves to be in the NFL, and the Cowboys said, yeah, you know what? Let's give him a 2-year deal. You almost never see teams say, let's give this guy, it's usually just a 1-year deal. We'll put you on a regular roster and see what happens. No, this is a guy they actually like, And so do I. I think this is going to be a great pickup for them. We're going to break down a ton more plays in the video. Before we dive in, though, comment down below a letter grade for this signing, and more importantly, a record prediction for the Dallas Cowboys. With that being said, let's kind of dive into some more plays. All right, here's another play I loved by KJ Henry. The first thing you notice, the versatility, right? Now the hand's in the ground. He's out here trying to attack the outside of this offensive line. So he's going to just go right through, this B gap right here. He's going to try to attack this guard and this tackle. To watch what happens. Another play I loved by him. Boom, gets in there. We got the interior lineman getting outside, and then watch him be able to disengage from his block. You already talked about being able to block shed. You talk about being able to, rush the passer. On this play, does a little bit of both here, right? Engages with the guard and then disengages as well. Love it. Again, another big-time play. Another big-time play by KJ Henry, man. Anyone watching this video who's a Cowboys fan, I would be actually pretty happy with a guy like KJ Henry just because of the motor alone. This guy wants to be coached, and he wants to be the best possible player he can be. And I think here in Dallas, he can learn from a lot of really talented players. Watch from this angle really quickly. Watch how he just goes right through, knowing your assignment, right? Now, on this play specifically, his job is to just take both of these guys and allow his interior lineman to get off the edge free, right? So on this play specifically, his job is not to get to the quarterback. It's just to take up two offensive linemen, and that is what he does. And again, being able to block shed, huge. Disengage, love it.
Okay, and so you kind of see what MattyDubs is doing in his video. I like the breakdown. He broke down some of his best plays, and like I said, I'm gonna put his video in the description also, so you can go to his channel. You can subscribe to him, and then you can watch the video there. And make sure you tell him and Law Nation Sports that Let's Talk Cowboys sent you to their channel for a subscription and to watch their videos if you haven't already subscribed. And so, and even if you have subscribed, let them know who sent you to watch the video. But I'm saying that I think they both kind of showed the ups and the downs of KJ Henry, of what he can be and what he might not be. I mean, what he can be and what he might not be. So, let's kind of understand here. There's a reason why he was on the practice squad of the Cincinnati Bengals. So he's a young guy. He's, maybe he does want to learn. Who knows? Maybe Mike Zimmer can bring something out of him that no one else is, or that they were not able to bring out of him in Washington and Cincinnati. So with Mike Zimmer teaching them some things, maybe he'll really be a good pickup for us. Now, I think the 2-year issue is, from what I heard, he doesn't have enough tenure or something to that effect to where they could sign him to a 1-year deal. Because either way, they would still retain his rights, even if they would retain his rights for the 2nd year or something to that effect. So either way, they would retain his rights. So they just said, why not sign him for 2 years anyway? They're going to have his rights for 2 years. You'd have to get a little bit more clarity on it, but I'm thinking that's what it is. But nevertheless, let's just think about, really, he could be a good piece for the next couple of years if he develops. Maybe a good special teams player. We'll see all of that. But I think the real issue is here, I think the Dallas Cowboys got him more for assurance than anything. I believe in the grand scheme of things, the Cowboys are going to see what they have in Marshawn Kneeland. I mean, they drafted him. That's why I have a star by his name. I mean, they really want to see what he's going to be able to do. And I heard Micah Parsons today talking about he's got a lot of confidence in Marshawn Kneeland. So this is Marshawn Kneeland's time to shine. And even Law Nation said that he would actually take Golston, Carl Lawson, and Tyrus Wheat over KJ Henry. So, but I think it's a good opportunity for KJ Henry. KJ Henry is going to get to prove, especially on the Dallas Cowboys, because they're always looking for a bargain. He's going to get an opportunity to prove, like MattyDubs said, he belongs in this league. He belongs on a roster in this league. And so I believe the Cowboys will eventually give him an opportunity to prove that he deserves a roster spot. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll put him in some type of rotation. I think we're going to get to see a lot of Marshawn Kneeland, but KJ Henry, he'll get on the field and we'll get to see what he's about, and he'll get an opportunity to show if he was, if he's up to snuff, or, as MattyDubs says, he should be on someone's roster, and if he should be a starter in this league. So, hey, man, it's so great to get a second chance. I'm excited for this kid. I'm excited for the Dallas Cowboys also to continue to build who they want to be so that they can be ready down the stretch. I keep saying it. You heard it from me first. I want adversity first. Adversity in the beginning of the season so we can be who we want to be at the end of the season. We've had too much easy stuff going in the beginning, and then we start having adversity in the end, and we're one and done. So, hey, let's start looking at what we have now. Let's start building it up. So that's going to do it for me. That's going to be my time as it applies to KJ Henry. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts.